Today we're going to go with some vintage Willys Jeeps on the Double Sammy Trail at Sand Hollow Sand Mountain near Hurricane, Utah. This is from January 2025. My friends and I went on this trail because I was scheduled to lead a big group of modern Jeeps on the Double Sammy Trail during the winter 4x4 jamboree coming up a little later in the week. So we went out to do a pre-run. I wanted to make sure I could get up to the trailhead through the sand. We were the first tracks on the sand this day. There had been a lot of wind the previous few days, and the windblown sand is really soft, and it's hard for our little Jeeps with skinny tires and low horsepower to get through the sand if you don't pick the right line. So these pictures are just driving up the sand dunes to get to the trailhead. Windblown sand is really soft when it's dry and freshly blown. I was leading the group and I came up to this big drop off on the edge of this dune. I decided to back up and go around the little valley right next door. Guess I chickened out and didn't want to go off this big steep drop off.
Can I go straight down?
But after I backed up and went around, my friend Jesse decided he wanted to try it. Came down just fine.
Yeah.
A couple other of the guys came down after him. And just over to the left in this picture, you can see the little gully that I came down. This is right before you get to the Gatekeeper obstacle of Double Sammy, which is right here. This is me in my 1948 Willys CJ2A I call Grandpa's Jeep. My name is Stan Fuller. Popping up the Gatekeeper.
Excellent.
Next up, this is Jesse Coombs. Jesse's Jeep is a 1943 Willys MB, World War II Jeep. He calls his MB Brutus. Following Jesse, we have Ernie Ungaro in his 48 CJ2A, calls two-step. Then we have Alan Kohler in his 51 CJ3B Thumper. And bringing up the rear is Jeff Petrovich in his 43 Willys MB Bam Bam. Once you come up the Gatekeeper, you have to turn to the right and then back to the left on another obstacle, and you can see some of us going up the other obstacle up above here. So our friend Todd Stewart is taking these pictures. Mostly we take pictures at a wide angle, but Todd was taking them for a different purpose. He was just great to share what he had with me. So some of the videos in this thing will be in the vertical rather than horizontal. Just after you get past the Gatekeeper, there's this little optional obstacle, which a few of the guys went on. I don't really like it that much, so I didn't drive over it. This is Ernie. Jesse helping him out a little bit. I think the annoyance factor overcomes the fun factor on this obstacle. Once you get past that little optional obstacle, Double Sammy goes down the hill, down into this wash. We don't often take pictures of this part of the trail. There's not really any obstacles. It's just an interesting drive down through the wash. But Todd got us a few pictures. Like I said, I'm getting ready to lead. I was getting ready to lead a big group of modern Jeeps through this trail during the Winter 4x4 Jamboree event. So I wanted to do a pre-run. So mostly I'm driving up front and I'm kind of picking the lines that are the more standard lines, not taking the optional lines, but some of the other guys are taking the optional lines. I'll show you some more of that in a bit. Still coming down the trail from up where the Gatekeeper is. Once you get down that hill, you have to turn right, and there's two ways you can go. More right is optional obstacles, and more left is the more traditional kind of main trail. So here we have Jeff and Bam Bam going up the optional obstacles.
Yeah.
Some of the other guys did those as well. This particular climb has kind of 2 or 3 little bumps that you climb up, and then right at the top it has this more challenging climb. The trick to this is right when you get to the top of this, there's a quick drop off right there. This gives you a more of an idea of how the whole sort of optional obstacles set up. First little climb, and then you get up to the bigger one. You can see my Jeep over there, Grandpa's Jeep over there to the left, which is the main trail. Once you get past this more optional obstacle, the trail continues on with more steps and ledges to climb, and eventually you come to this big wall. It's a big wall. Big Jeeps sometimes can reach their tires up to the right, and the smaller rigs need to go farther to the left. And a lot of times I just go all the way to the left, which you can't really see in this picture. Here we have Alan. He's trying to make it sort of a compromise. He did a good job with that. Next up comes Jeff and Bam Bam. Kind of rockets up it. It's a big breakover too, so a lot of times if you take it straight on, you'll hit on your belly. Continuing up, we're almost to the end of the trail now. We didn't film a lot of the sort of in-between stuff. This is actually an optional obstacle right towards the end, where you're coming up to the parking area by the famous obstacle called the Chute. And this is a offshoot off to the right of the main
I go
trail
up it more this
where you can
way.
take this optional
I go up
little
it more this way.
obstacle. There's two ways to take this.
I try to
See, Alan right here
put
is
my
trying to
tire
make
on
the
there and bring
left-hand
myself around
turn
and come up it like you're
and
driving
take
me.
kind of the steeper way. You can also go straight out in front and take a little
It'll
less
kind of spin
steep
you,
way
it'll
and
hook
go
you
straight.
around. That's it. It's easy today.
Okay, to get up to this obstacle, you have to come over this little wall off the main trail. The main trail is kind of right there behind Jesse. And he found the steepest part of this wall to try and climb up. One of the issues with our little Jeeps with the smaller tires is sometimes we can't get on these really vertical walls. Our bumpers or shackles hit into them. You can kind of see how Jesse has that issue right here. And then he uses a technique that we use sometimes by taking it at an angle so you can get a tire on the wall before your bumper or your shackle hits.
Fortunately, more. That thing there is usually a challenge, getting up that. It's usually way
See that right here. Turns into the wall. Now he's going to get up on it.
That's all tire.
Meantime, here's Ernie over at the optional obstacle. Rather than take the left-hand turn, more steep part of it, Ernie's going to opt out to go out the end and up to the flat parking area. It's also a fun way to take this obstacle. Once Jesse got up that big wall, he came around, took the left turn. Now we're to the point in the program where we're going to try the Chute, one of the more famous obstacles at Sand Hollow. You have to go down through this little alleyway. Todd's walking us down, and I'm driving Grandpa's Jeep up behind him. So whenever you go with me on a ride, you get stories. Oh, here's a story.
20 minutes before and not got over this first little hump. And then last time I just drove right up it without even stopping. Hold on one second, I'm gonna go to the top.
Slid down a little at the top and kissed the wall just a bit with the side. There's getting to be a pretty big rut there. This is how that run up the chute looks from the top. A steep drop right there. This is Jeff in Bam Bam. He has a dash cam thing that he runs for us. So this is a driver's eye view going up the chute. I have a different sort of style than Jeff. I like to just drive up things kind of quick. Jeff likes to try to crawl them as slow as he dares. So this is his crawl, slow crawl. See a bunch of us there filming. I had plenty of different shots to choose from on this. Jeff started to spin his tires a little bit right here. Need to back up and give it a little more juice.
Sorry.
You can see me standing there taking a picture. I'll show you that view in just a second. Once you come up over the top, it's a little bit of a steep drop down, but not near as long or as steep as coming up. Okay, here's what Jeff's run up there, his slow crawl up the chute looked like from up top. This is Alan making his run. Jeff and Jesse have kind of a friendly competition. They like to see who is the best at slow crawling things.
His back end finally slid over.
Does this mean we're not friends anymore?
Here's Ernie making his run. Since Jesse made it without spinning a tire, for the most part, Jeff had to go around and give it another try.
That was good. You got a good wheel lift.
So Jesse, never one to be outdone. He had to make a second run as well.
That's what happened.
Yeah, you got to go around it and then get over as fast as you can. Yep, now get it back. That's it.
After we got done messing around at the chute,
You saw it.
we decided we wanted to go over and try the maze trail, which is way on the other side of the mountain. And you have to cross over where the Milt's Mile Trail is. And when we got down in there, Jeff had some issues and broke the ear off his knuckle, his steering knuckle, where the tie rod connects in. But Jeff is always prepared. He has a little welding kit that he carries where we use two 12-volt batteries and a welding rod to weld in the field. It's always fun to be riding with Jeff because he's well prepared. He has the welding kit, he has impact wrenches, all other kinds of tools, grinders, almost anything you could think of to have on the trail. One of the sayings that we have kind of in the flat fender community, these Willys Jeeps, if you don't know, we call them flat fenders because they have those flat front fenders. One of the things that we often say is flat fendering is working on your Jeeps in beautiful places. So here we are in a beautiful place, and Jeff is welding on his Jeep.
Jeff welding on his knuckle. I'm talking to this video that I'm taking of you. The welder runs off two 12-volt batteries, this one under his seat and the one in that Jeep over there. Just zeroing in on this trail repair. I don't know how well you can see it, but he put some angle iron on the sides and welded it. We'll get back to the house and we'll probably pull it off and see if we can beef it up a little bit more, but it's good.
Jeff got it all welded up and drove the rest of the week on that welded knuckle. We didn't make it to the maze that day, though. We did make it later in the week. Thanks for watching.